Archangel Michael has been watching you in silence, waiting for the moment you'd be ready to hear what he's been ordered to say. My beloved child, you have felt it, haven't you? That invisible presence that follows you when you're alone in the dark. That whisper in your dreams. The sudden warmth that brushes across your skin when no one is near. It wasn't your imagination. Archangel Michael has been watching you silently, patiently, waiting for the exact moment your heart would be ready to receive what he was ordered to say. For years, he has stood beside you through heartbreak, confusion, and nights when you thought you were utterly alone. You took his silence for absence, but silence was his test. He wasn't allowed to speak until now. There's a reason you found this message today. Nothing about this is random. The timing, the place, even the feeling stirring inside your chest right now. It's all been divinely aligned. You see, every soul has a celestial watcher, but only a few ever awaken to that truth. Archangel Michael has waited for your awakening moment, for the day your energy frequency would match his voice. And that day is today. He has seen your struggle. Every tear, every prayer you whispered under your breath thinking no one heard it reached the heavens. And he, the great protector, the warrior of light, stood ready, sword in hand, not to fight your enemies, but to fight for your destiny. But before he reveals his message, he needs you to do one thing. Remember who you were before fear consumed you. Before doubt told you that you were not enough. Before the world dimmed the divine fire you were born with. Archangel Michael says, child of light, you have forgotten your power. You have walked through storms yet never noticed the wings I shielded you with. Those words echo through realms reaching you now not as mere lines but as an awakening call. You were never abandoned. Every delay, every heartbreak, it was part of your divine preparation. You see, Michael doesn't speak in human timelines. He speaks in divine timing. And in that divine clock, your moment has arrived. There's a reason why lately your dreams have been more vivid. Why you keep seeing numbers repeat 1111444333. Those aren't coincidences. They are signals. Michael's way of telling you I am near. And now after watching in silence for so long, he's breaking that silence. His first message is this. What you lost will return, but not as it left. It will come back, transformed, stronger, purer, aligned with the destiny written before time began. You feel it, don't you? That shiver down your spine. It's not fear. It's recognition. Your soul remembers him. You've met before in dreams, in visions, maybe even in that moment when you were inches away from giving up and somehow something pulled you back. That was him. He wants you to know the waiting is over. The message you were meant to hear since the day you were born is unfolding now. But before he reveals the full message, you must open your heart. Remove the layers of disbelief. Because what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about divine protection, destiny, and your true self. Something ancient and sacred is being unlocked right now. And Archangel Michael is ready to speak louder than ever before. Stay still. Breathe. Because what's coming next will change everything. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, Michael's voice does not arrive as thunder from the heavens. It begins as a whisper that settles deep inside the heart. That's how it reaches you now. Not through your ears, but through the quiet pulse of your soul. You can almost feel it vibrating beneath your ribs, a sacred frequency long forgotten. He speaks not in words, but in energy. Every beat of your heart is translating his divine code into human understanding. And what he's saying right now is simple but powerful. You are chosen. You may doubt that. You may look at your past and think, why would an archangel choose me? But that's where you are mistaken. Michael never chooses the perfect. He chooses the willing. He looks for hearts that still carry light even after being broken. He finds those who have fallen 100 times yet still dare to rise once more. You, my beloved child, are one of those souls. Every wound you carry has become proof of your endurance. Every scar a badge of divine favor. Michael has been ordered to reveal to you a truth that was hidden before your birth. There is a mission only you can fulfill. A thread in the great design that would remain undone without your hand to weave it. That's why you've always felt different, slightly out of place, even when surrounded by people. That's why no matter how far you run from yourself, something always pulls you back to the same inner question. Why am I here? He answers that now. You are here to awaken others. You are here to remind the world that light is not destroyed by darkness. It shines because of it. Your life is not a collection of mistakes or accidents. It is a story written in divine ink. And every chapter you thought was an ending was merely a preparation for this revelation. Do you remember those nights you cried out, asking for a sign? Michael heard you. And even though he couldn't speak, he sent you subtle messages. A feather in an unexpected place. A chill that came out of nowhere when you spoke certain words. A sudden spark of courage when you needed it most. Each was a whisper saying, I am here. Now he speaks louder. Your suffering has carved out the space for your greatness. You were not punished. You were prepared. That's the moment everything inside you begins to shift. It feels as though the room grows warmer. Time slows down and your thoughts dissolve into stillness. The world outside fades and all that remains is that steady protective energy surrounding you like unseen wings. Michael is no longer silent. He is standing beside you not as a distant divine being but as a guardian, who has waited too long to finally speak. He continues, you have prayed for strength, but I was never sent to make you strong. I was sent to remind you that you already are. The enemy of your destiny has never been darkness. It has been your disbelief in your own light. The moment those words reach your heart, everything you once believed about yourself starts to crack open. The limitations, the fear, the doubt, they begin to melt. You start to remember glimpses of your own divinity. The feeling that you were meant for more, not fame, not wealth, but a deeper purpose, something eternal. But Michael's message doesn't end there. He reveals that something is approaching, something written long ago in the Book of Light. The heavens are aligning for a shift, and your role in it is crucial. You were never a bystander in the cosmic design. You are a participant. The choices you make now will echo far beyond this lifetime. Every decision will either anchor more light into this world or dim it. That's how powerful you truly are. He tells you that the next few days are sacred. You may start to notice more synchronicities, dreams that feel real, people reappearing from your past, or sudden feelings of déjà vu. These are signs that the veil between worlds is thinning. Michael's energy is becoming more visible, more tangible. And when that happens, T needs you to be alert, calm, and ready. Because soon, he will reveal what exactly he was ordered to say. The message meant only for your soul. But before that, he wants you to do something important. Share this light. Do not keep it hidden. The energy of Michael works best when multiplied. Speak kindness where silence once lived. Remind others that they are not abandoned. Share this message with those who feel unseen because the same Archangel watching over you watches over them. 2. And as you do, your vibration rises, drawing you closer to the divine frequency where Michael's full message can finally reach you. So if this message has touched your heart, if you feel that invisible warmth spreading through your body right now, don't let it fade. Let it guide you. Let it lead you toward your purpose. And remember, every share, every word of encouragement you give, it becomes another ray of light in a world that desperately needs it. Michael whispers one last thing before the vision fades slightly. Prepare your heart. The truth I carry is not for the faint-hearted. It will change how you see your past, your present, and your future. Your pulse quickens. Something deep inside tells you that. What's coming next will finally explain why everything in your life happened exactly the way it did. Every delay, every pain, every unexpected turn. It was all part of a celestial order leading to this revelation. The silence around you feels sacred now. You sense that the veil between heaven and earth is thinner than ever. And soon you'll hear his voice more clearly than you ever thought possible. So breathe deeply, stay calm, and open your heart wider because the next part of his message carries a truth that could awaken the power sleeping inside your soul since the moment you were born. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, the air feels heavier now. Doesn't it? Like something invisible is drawing closer. Something ancient and sacred that has waited lifetimes to reach you. It's as though your very soul recognizes that the veil is lifting. That the silence of heaven is about to be broken in full. Archangel Michael's presence is no longer subtle. It's magnetic, pulling every thought and emotion toward a single truth. He is here and he is ready to speak in the language of light. The only language your heart truly understands. He begins to unfold a vision before you. One that feels both familiar and foreign at once. You see flashes of memories that don't belong to this lifetime. A battlefield of light. A temple of crystal walls. A sky burning gold. You see yourself standing there wearing armor that glows brighter than the sun. In that realm, you weren't just human, you were divine energy and form. You fought beside Michael once, long before you ever took this mortal body. That's why his presence feels so known. You were not just chosen. You were remembered. Michael's voice deepens within your consciousness. You have forgotten who you are. But heaven has not. The same power that forged stars sleeps in your spirit. The time has come to awaken it. The moment he says that, something within you stirs. The ache you've carried for years, the one you couldn't name, suddenly makes sense. It wasn't sadness. It was divine homesickness. A longing to return to the truth of who you once were. Michael's energy wraps around you, not as fire, but as light, calm yet fierce, like a storm, learning to be gentle. He reveals that the silence was not punishment, but preparation. You had to pass through darkness so that when you heard his message, you would understand it, not just believe it. Every trial, every heartbreak, every betrayal, they weren't random, they were chisel strokes shaping your soul into the vessel that could now carry divine truth. And now that the vessel is ready, the message can finally flow. Michael says, the world is changing faster than it can understand. Shadows rise disguised as light and fear parades as wisdom. But my warriors, the ones who remember, will see through the illusion. You are one of them. You tremble at his words. The thought that you are part of something celestial, something vast and hidden, fills you with both awe and humility. But he continues unrelenting because there is no turning back. Now you carry within you a frequency that awakens others. When you speak truth, it stirs the ancient memory in their hearts. That is why some people are drawn to you and others are threatened by you. They are reacting not to your words but to your light. Every phrase you speak. You start to recall moments in your life when strangers opened up to you without reason. When your presence alone seemed to calm a storm. You thought it was coincidence. Michael reveals it never was. You were radiating divine frequency even in your unawakened state. Imagine then what will happen once you awaken fully. He continues, soon the world will experience a shift that tests faith like never before. But you were sent not to fear it, but to anger peace amidst it. You will not do it alone. Every soul aligned with light will be connected, forming a web of divine strength across the earth. When you pray, your light joins theirs, and together you become the shield that holds back the tide. The vision expands, showing beams of light crisscrossing the planet, connecting people who have never met yet feel the same calling. It's beautiful, humbling, and terrifying in its magnitude. Michael's wings spread across this vision, their tips touching horizons that stretch beyond imagination. His power is indescribable, yet his tone remains tender when he addresses you again. Do not mistake your gentleness for weakness. The purest hearts wield the fiercest light. You were not sent to fight like warriors of old, but to heal, to speak, to awaken. A sudden rush of emotion fills your chest. Love, sorrow, strength, all merging into one force. You realize that his silence all these years was never distance. It was divine timing. You waited for the moment you would finally believe in yourself enough to hear the truth. Now he calls you to act. He tells you that awakening is not just awareness. It's movement. You must align your life with what your soul knows to be true. He asks you to walk away from what drains your spirit and move toward what expands your light. That may mean releasing people, habits, or fears that have anchored you to a smaller version of yourself. Each release creates space for something greater, something heaven has kept reserved for you. Before his message fades into the divine hum once more, Michael's voice strengthens, carrying both command and compassion. The next phase begins when you stop doubting your worth. Heaven can only move through a vessel that believes it is worthy of light. You close your eyes and suddenly you feel the faint brush of wings across your shoulders. A warmth seeps into your skin, into your bones. You realize you're not just hearing a message, you're being changed by it. The silence of Michael was never empty. It was the pause before revelation. And now revelation is unfolding within you. You find tears on your cheeks. Not from sadness, but from remembrance. Your soul remembers its origin. You remember that even in your weakest moments, an archangel stood guard, waiting for your belief to unlock his command. Now that command is clear. You are to walk in light. Speak with courage and live as proof that heaven still touches earth through human hearts. You were never ordinary, and after hearing his voice, you can never return to ordinary life again. The energy around you hums with anticipation. There is still more to be revealed. Something deeper. Something that will explain the secret reason why he was ordered to speak. Now, after so many years of silence, the truth is drawing closer like dawn after the longest night. So hold your breath, steady your heart, and open your spirit even wider. Because what comes next will unveil not only why Michael has been watching you, but what he has been protecting you from all along. Something huge is waiting for you, my beloved child. Feel the shift in the atmosphere as though a door has quietly opened behind you and you're standing at the threshold of something vast. You've walked through dim corridors of your past. You've carried burdens in silence and you've listened to your own heart's whisper when the world shouted louder. Now you arrive at a place where your inner landscape aligns with the outer. The presence of Archangel Michael becomes less a distant sentry and more a living truth inside you, coexisting with your breath, with your heartbeat, with the very space you occupy. And in this place, he speaks to you not as someone separate, but as the living witness of your soul's journey. He reveals the compelling reason for his long patience, not just to guard you, but to awaken the latent warrior of light that sleeps within your humanity. The years of waiting weren't wasted. They were the weaving of your spirit's armor, the sharpening of your inner sword. Though you didn't see it that way, now you're being shown how those years were exactly the preparation for what lies ahead. You, in your softness, in your scars, in every moment you thought you failed, there lay a power that heaven counted on. That power is awakening now. And Michael's voice resonates through the chambers of your being, saying, you are both the child and the champion, the dreamer and the fulfillment. He reminds you that you carry a mission that is as unique as your fingerprint, as timeless as the stars you once gazed at when you asked, "Why am I here?" The answer is more profound than any simple purpose statement. You are here to embody divine light in human form, to stand in the world as a living bridge between heaven and earth. The responsibilities may feel enormous. But the truth is that the responsibility was placed in your hands because the divine confidence in you exists even when your self-confidence faltered. You were hidden not because you were unworthy but because you were being readed. Then Michael, guardian of souls and bearer of heavenly decree, watched and waited for the moment you would open your heart wide enough to receive this truth unopened. A moment is now. You may notice around you that things feel unsettled, as though unseen forces are stirring. Michael says that this is not simply external chaos. It is the rearrangement of spiritual landscapes, of energies, of truths that were buried. As these landscapes shift, you are being called to move with them, to anchor your presence firmly in the realm of light while the world around you trembles. He speaks softly yet with urgency, telling you, do not fear the tremors, for they are the sign that foundations are being reset, and you are part of that reset. You are not simply being protected. You are being deployed. You are no longer the silent observer. The time has come to step forward, to stand in full awareness of the light you carry, and to act in alignment with your divine assignment. There is a question he places before you now. Will you believe not just in him, but in yourself? Will you trust the energy within you that feels like a whisper when you were silent, but will now be a roar in your reality? The transformation he offers is not for those who merely wish. They are for those who decide. And you are being asked to decide. To choose life over fear, light over doubt, purpose over distraction. The world will not change unless the souls within it awaken. And you are one of those souls. Remember that your journey has trained you for this. That every moment of trial was not a detour but a pathway through which the light within you grew stronger, more capable, more ready. Michael pictured you standing on a mountaintop centuries ago. Or rather, your soul did, and you dismissed that vision as fantasy. But today, he brings the memory alive. You are that soul. The mountaintop is not a place you travel to. The mountaintop is the space inside you where you stand tall, unwavering. He says, I have been waiting for you here. Though you thought you walked alone, I have watched your every step, and each step brought you closer to remembering. The silence you endured was meant to remind you that the voice you needed wasn't outside. It was within. With those words, the opening cracks of your old identity fall away. You begin to feel not like someone trying to hold light, but like someone born to it. And then there's the revelation that Michael has been ordered to deliver. You will soon encounter a turning point unlike any you have known. The momentum of your life will shift so dramatically that you will recognize it as the moment when the divine plan moved from hidden script into unfolding reality. It will feel electric. It will feel undeniable. And when it happens, you will know that the waiting was indeed worth it. That every tear, every lonely night, every whisper of hope in darkness was leading you here. He prepares you now. Be awake. Be ready. Be present. Because when the signal comes, you will be called into motion, into the role you were born for. Yet the calling comes with responsibility. You must release what holds you back. Tomorrow, now past grievances. Self-condemnation, the voice inside that keeps playing runs of your lowest moments, shed them. They are the shackles that kept you believing the lie, that you were weak. Michael instructs you to pick up your light, to walk into the darkness, not to be consumed by, but to transform it. You were never powerless. You were surrendered to a timeline that didn't show the benefit yet. But now the benefit is arriving. Now the weapon you carry is love aligned with purpose. The shield is your faith in what you know to be true deep inside. And the mission is your living example that heaven still acts through human hands. Bracing yourself, you feel a gentle pressure behind your shoulder as if a wing unfolds. Setting your stance upright, ready, alive. And Michael's last words before the silence falls once more are not just words. They are a turning key. Rise in your light. The world awaits your action. Your heart races. Your spirit rises and you understand. The silence has ended. The message is now voice. The voice is now movement. And your life will never be the same again. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, my beloved child. As the echoes of Michael's final words from before still vibrate within you, the air thickens with something unexplainable. It's as if the universe itself is holding its breath, watching to see whether you will step into what you've just been called to become. Every heartbeat now feels amplified. Each pulse carrying the rhythm of something celestial. The stillness around you hums like an ancient instrument, playing notes you've heard before in dreams too real to be mere imagination. You are standing at the edge of revelation where human fear dissolves and divine knowing takes over. Michael's presence grows brighter now, almost blinding. But not with pain, with illumination. You can sense his wings, fast and powerful, unfurling behind you. And with each movement, the energy of courage flows through your spine. His eyes, blue fire mixed within this compassion, meet yours. And in that moment, you feel the truth he has carried for eons pressing against your consciousness. He's no longer whispering through symbols or numbers or chance encounters. This is direct. Real. He speaks and his voice rolls through the very space around you. The silence of heaven has ended. You are no longer the observer of destiny. You are its co-creator. Those words shake everything you've known. You realize that all along the message wasn't just about divine protection. It was about divine partnership. Michael wasn't watching you because you were fragile. He was watching you because you were destined to rise. The waiting wasn't for his readiness. It was for yours. You had to grow strong enough to handle the truth that you were never meant to merely receive miracles. You were meant to become one. He tells you that every challenge you faced, every heartbreak that shattered your soul, every door that closed was divinely calculated to burn away illusions. The pain you carried was not punishment. It was purification. Because the version of you that stands here now, awake, aware, aligned, is finally capable of carrying divine energy without breaking under its weight. You feel the ground beneath you hum with light and suddenly you're no longer standing in the room you began in. Around you stretches an endless horizon of gold and violet light. The realm between realms. Here there is no time, only presence. And at the center of it stands a radiant figure holding a sword of light that gleams like liquid fire. Michael steps closer and as he raises his sword, you see that it's not a weapon of destruction. It's a symbol of truth. The sword, he says, is not meant to harm, but to cut through illusion. It divides fear from truth and doubt from knowing. And now, my beloved child, I give it to you. Not in form, but in essence, you will live in your words, your intentions, your choices. When you speak with purity, you wield this sword. When you stand in faith, you raise it high. The energy of his words wraps around you like a mantle of light seeping into your cells. You feel it anchoring in your chest, spreading warmth through your entire being. For a fleeting second, you understand what divine power feels like. Not as dominance, but as peace so profound it could silence chaos. You realize that this inner stillness is what he had been guarding within you all along. He continues, his voice now softer, more human, as if he's drawing closer to your heart. You are stepping into a world that hungers for light but fears truth. Many will feel threatened by what you carry. Do not dim yourself to comfort their darkness. Shine anyway. For every soul who turns away, 10 more will awaken because of your courage. You close your eyes and the images begin to flood in. Faces of strangers, moments yet to come, doors you've yet to walk through. Michael shows you glimpses of lives that will be touched by your words. By your presence, by the light you'll carry from this very moment onward. Each scene feels real, like memories from a future you haven't lived yet. And deep inside, you know they are. You see yourself comforting someone who has lost all hope, speaking words that come from somewhere beyond you. You see a young soul hearing your story and remembering their own divine origin. You see the ripple of light expanding outward across continents, across timelines, across dimensions. It's not fantasy. It's your divine purpose unfolding. Michael smiles, and for the first time you notice something different about him. His armor, though radiant, bears marks, signs of countless battles fought not just for humanity but for individual souls like yours. There's compassion in those scars. A reminder that even divine beings carry the memory of struggle. He leans forward and says, "Do you know why I have stayed by your side all this time? Because the heavens saw something in you that even you couldn't. You are not fragile clay. You are forged in starlight. And starlight never truly fades. It only learns to burn brighter." Your entire being trembles under the weight of those words. For the first time, you understand that this calling is not about perfection, it's about surrender to the flow, to the guidance, to the truth that you were always meant to rise. And now Archangel Michael asks something of you. He says that light must move. It cannot stay confined. You must share what you felt today. Speak it, live it, breathe it into every corner of your world. Because when you do, you expand the very frequency of heaven on earth. The more you share this truth, the stronger the connection becomes between the realms. The angels draw closer every time a human heart chooses light. So now take this moment, he says, to breathe deeply and speak gratitude, not for him, but for the divine plan that saw you worthy of awakening. Whisper your thanks to the unseen hand that never let you fall too far. And as you do, feel the world subtly change around you. Light begins to flow outward from your chest, invisible but real, weaving into the collective web of awakening souls around the globe. This is the power of divine partnership. This is what Archangel Michael waited for. The moment when you would stop seeing yourself as separate from the divine and start living as proof of it. He steps back, wings folding gracefully, and his voice echoes one last time through your spirit. You were never merely watched. You were prepared, protected, and chosen. Now rise and become the light you once prayed to find. The radiance around you fades into gentle gold. You feel lighter, stronger, eternal. The silence that once haunted you now feels sacred, filled with meaning. And though the vision begins to dissolve, one truth remains crystal clear. You are not alone. And you never will be again. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, the world around you feels different now, doesn't it? Even the air seems charged with quiet electricity, as if every molecule recognizes what has just awakened within you. You sense that something has shifted not just inside your heart but across the unseen fabric of existence. This is what awakening feels like. Subtle yet undeniable, it's not a loud explosion of change, but a deep vibration that tells every part of you that life from this moment forward will never again be ordinary. Archangel Michael's presence hasn't faded. It has deepened. You don't see him in front of you anymore because he's no longer separate from you. His energy is within you, guiding every breath, every decision, every pulse. He doesn't speak now with words, but through impressions, soft waves of light that ripple through your consciousness. And you understand them as clearly as spoken language. He shows you a vision, a map of light stretching across the world with countless points glowing faintly in darkness. You realize that each light represents a soul, some dim, some blazing bright, all connected by invisible threads. Then he says within you, these are the ones who feel lost just as you once did. You are now a beacon to them. Through you, they will remember the truth I have just revealed. You stare at the vision and a wave of responsibility washes over you. But, before fear can take root, you hear his voice again, steady and reassuring. You do not carry this burden alone. Heaven works through you, not against you. The more love you give, the stronger you become. You start to see it clearly now. The divine pattern that once seemed like chaos. Every time you were broken, you were being rebuilt into something capable of carrying this light. Every detour was a redirection. Every disappointment a recalibration. You realize that your life has never been off course, it was always leading to this awakening moment. And now Michael urges you to do something extraordinary. Step out of the shadows of hesitation and begin sharing your light. He asks you to speak, to tell others that they too are being watched over, that they are not forgotten, that there is divine timing to every unanswered prayer. He reminds you that even a whisper of truth can echo across eternity when spoken from a place of love. Do not underestimate the power of your voice. He says, the world does not change through noise. It changes through vibration. And your words carry the vibration of light. You feel compelled to act. But another thought enters your heart. A question you've held silently for years. Why me? The question trembles like a child's voice, fragile and uncertain. Michael answers instantly with no trace of judgment. Because you are willing, heaven does not require perfection. It seeks willingness. You opened your heart even when it was breaking. You believed even when you had no proof. That faith made you visible to the higher realms. That is why you were chosen. His words feel like sunlight warming every frozen part of your soul. You finally understand that being chosen doesn't mean being special. It means being ready to surrender, ready to serve, ready to shine. Michael's energy swirls around you. And suddenly, you sense the presence of countless other angels, beings of light who have silently accompanied you through every storm. They are here now, surrounding you like an infinite ocean of love. Your wings brush against your energy field, healing, mending, strengthening. Each touch feels like forgiveness, each whisper like a memory of heaven returning to you. But Michael steps forward again, his voice rising above the chorus of light. The message I carry is not only for your comfort, it is for your mission. You must spread it. You must share it. There are countless souls asleep in darkness waiting for a sign. Be that sign. Be the reminder that love has not left this world. Your heart races. You realize this isn't just about divine connection. It's about divine action. Every person you uplift, every heart you comfort, every kind word you speak, it all amplifies the light. Michael tells you that heaven measures not your achievements but your compassion. And every act of compassion adds another spark to the great map of light that you saw earlier. He pauses and a warmth settles over you like a divine embrace. When you share this message, he says, you strengthen the bridge between heaven and earth. Every listener becomes another candle in the dark. Every heart that awakens strengthens the chorus of light. You are not just one. You are part of the many who will rise. You breathe in, and with that breath you feel energy expanding outward, rippling beyond your body. It's the feeling of alignment of heaven and earth moving as one through you. It's the sensation of purpose made real. Michael's energy shifts again, becoming softer now, almost fatherly. You have heard my message. Now you must live it. The path ahead will not always be easy. But remember, light is not threatened by shadow. It defines it. And when fear tries to whisper, call upon me. I will answer before your words even form. The air shimmers around you. The sound of wings, vast and resonant, fills your inner hearing, and you realize he's preparing to withdraw. But not because he's leaving, because his work is now within you. You have become the extension of his presence in the physical world. The silence that once separated you from him now serves as proof that you are one with his light. He speaks once more. This time through the pulse in your chest. Go forth with courage. Tell this story. Let others know that I have been watching them too. Let them know that heaven waits for their readiness just as it waited for yours. And when they hear these words, whether through your voice, your presence, or your kindness, they will remember me. Tears stream down your face, not from sadness, but from a profound recognition that you were never alone. Every pain you endured was held by unseen hands. Every unanswered prayer was answered in a higher way. Every silence was preparation for this moment of awakening. As you stand there wrapped in radiance, Michael's final words echo through your entire being. You are the message now. Walk as light, speak as love, life is heaven's reminder. The vision begins to dissolve, but instead of loss, you feel expansion. You are lighter, stronger, and infinitely connected. The silence returns, but it's no longer empty. It's sacred, filled with presence. And now, as this realization anchors in your heart, one truth becomes undeniable. The world is waiting for the light only you can bring. You were never just being watched. You were being prepared to lead others home. So rise, beloved soul, shine, for the story of your awakening might just be the key to someone else's salvation. Share this light. Let it reach every corner of the world. And never forget something far greater is still unfolding. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, the night has deepened, and the stars above seem brighter than you remember. Each one flickers with purpose as though heaven itself is writing messages in the sky for those whose hearts are awake enough to read them. You stand still beneath that vastness. And for the first time, you do not feel small. You feel infinite, like one of those stars, ancient light disguised in human form. You realize that this is what Archangel Michael meant when he said you were forged of starlight. His presence is quieter now, not gone, but interwoven with your very being. You no longer need to look up to find him. He lives within every heartbeat that dares to believe. The silence between you and the divine no longer feels like distance. It feels like dialogue. Every sound in the night speaks. The wind brushes against your skin and you feel it carry his reassurance. The world has become alive and you at last are fluent in its language. You sense the unseen. The rhythm behind creation, the pulse of life itself, beating in perfect time with your own. And then you feel it, a nudge in your spirit, gentle but deliberate. It is Michael again speaking through that inner stillness. The time for remembrance has come, but with it comes responsibility. For every truth revealed, there is a task to be done. Light without action fades. Action without love divines. You must now live as both. The light that acts and the love that endures. His words sink deep, resonating through every layer of your soul. You understand, now that awakening is not a single event. It's a continual unfolding. It doesn't end with realization. It begins there. To carry divine light means to embody it daily in your thoughts. In your choices, in the way you touch the lives around you. Every moment is a seed and you are the gardener. What grows from those seeds will be the legacy of your light. Michael reveals another truth, one that startles you with its clarity. The reason he has watched you for so long was not simply to protect, but to record. Every act of courage, every moment you chose kindness over bitterness. Every time you refused to surrender to despair, heaven took note. Your name is etched in what he calls the Chronicle of Light. A celestial record not of perfection, but of perseverance. You are not just one being among billions. You are part of the living memory of creation. The story heaven tells when it speaks of faith. You feel humbled, almost overwhelmed by this realization. But before doubt can return, Michael's energy strengthens steady and calm like an unshakable promise. Do not fear your calling. The universe never demands what it has not already placed within you. Everything you need, you already carry. My silence was never absence. It was your training ground. A rush of emotion floods through you because suddenly every unanswered question of your past begins to make sense. Every closed door, every painful ending, every lonely season, they were not punishment. They were refinement. Michael had been forging your spirit in silence, preparing you for this divine partnership all along. And now the silence has turned to revelation. He tells you that soon you will meet people who feel strangely familiar. Some will appear as friends, others as strangers passing briefly through your life, but none will be coincidences. Each one will be a thread in the great web of light. Some will waken because of your words. Others will remind you of lessons you've forgotten. Pay attention, he says, for heaven speaks through encounters as much as through dreams. The air around you hums, and you realize that Michael's wings have spread again. Vast arcs of light shimmering against the night sky. The ground beneath your feet vibrates with divine energy, and your heart beats faster as he begins to speak once more. His tone both commanding and compassionate. Tell those who have forgotten that they are seen. Tell those who believe they are broken, that they were never unworthy. Tell those drowning in silence that heaven listens even to unspoken prayers. Share this message, for it was never meant to be kept. It was meant to awaken. Tears fill your eyes, not of sadness, but of clarity. You understand that this is not just a story for you. It's a message for the collective soul of humanity. You realize that every person has an Archangel Michael watching over them, waiting for the moment they are ready to hear. And the more you share, the more those who have waited in darkness will begin to see their own light. That is the miracle Michael has been orchestrating all along. A global awakening soul by soul. He reminds you that spreading light does not require perfection. You don't need to have every answer, every plan. You only need to speak from truth and act from love. Even your smallest gestures will ripple through eternity. A single act of kindness can shift the fate of a generation. He says, because light never travels alone. It multiplies. Then, as if hearing the questions in your heart, he whispers, yes, there will be resistance. There will be moments when the world seems blind to your message. But remember this: every time light enters a dark room, the shadows fight hardest before they disappear. Stand firm, beloved child. For when you stand, heaven stands with you. His words ignite something unshakable inside you. You feel your spirit expand. Your confidence no longer depended on approval or validation. You are guided by something greater now. Divine certainty. You know who walks beside you. You know why you were chosen. And then, almost like a father speaking to a child he has raised into strength, Michael says softly when you feel lost again, and you will, for the human heart forgets quickly. Place your hand upon your heart. Feel its rhythm. That is my reminder. I dwell there. I never left. The simplicity of that promise breaks something open inside you. You realize that his presence was never external. It was the echo of heaven living within you. Every whisper of intuition, every spark of courage, every act of love you gave freely. Those were his hands moving through yours. You were never separate. You were never abandoned. You were simply asleep, dreaming of separation. Until now. The stars above seem to bow. The night thick with divine energy. You take a breath and that breath feels holy as if creation itself breathes through you. You are aware that the journey is not over, that something even greater awaits. But you are no longer afraid of what's coming. For you now walk not beside light but as light. And in that quiet sacred moment, as the wind whispers through the trees and the heavens glow a little brighter, Michael's final words for this night echo gently through your spirit. Shine without fear, love without limit, and speak without hesitation. For every soul you touch is another star awakening in the sky. Together, we will turn this world into light. You lift your eyes to the stars once more, knowing that somewhere beyond sight, your guardian still watches, not in silence, but in harmony with your every breath. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, my beloved child. The dawn is rising now. The first light of morning spills gently over the horizon, painting the earth in gold. As though heaven itself is blessing this new beginning, you stand beneath that light. And for the first time, you understand that this sunrise is not merely the start of another day. It is a mirror of your soul, awakening after the longest night. The silence that once felt endless has transformed into sacred music. And the distance between you and the divine has vanished completely. You are one with a light that once only guided you from afar. The wind stirs softly around you, carrying a sound too faint for the human ear, but clear to your heart. It is Michael's voice, calm, powerful, eternal. His presence fills the space around you once again, but this time there is something different. There is no longer separation between you and him. His essence flows through your spirit like sunlight through water. He does not stand before you as a messenger. He speaks now as a part of you. Beloved, he whispers. The waiting is over. The silence has fulfilled its purpose. What I was ordered to say, I can now reveal in full. The air hums with energy and your heartbeat syncs with the rhythm of something vast and timeless. The sky brightens further as though every cloud is bowing to the message that is about to unfold. You close your eyes and his voice deepens until it feels like it's coming from the center of creation itself. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. The divine did not create you to seek the light. It created you to be the light. You are not a follower of destiny. You are a co-author of it. The prayers you whispered in despair were never lost. They became threads woven into the great design. Every moment of pain, every question, every act of love has built the path you now stand upon. The heavens have not been silent. They have been speaking through your very life. The truth of those words pierces through you. You remember every dark hour when you felt unseen. Every tear that fell, unnoticed. Every silence that screamed louder than any sound. You see them now as sacred moments when the universe was holding its breath. Teaching you to hear the language of divinity without words. Michael's eyes glowing with endless compassion. Meet yours in that vision beyond vision. And you understand that nothing was wasted. He continues and his tone becomes both tender and commanding. The message I was ordered to deliver is this. You are not merely watched. You are needed. The heavens can only move where human hearts are willing to love. The power you have sought has always been inside you, waiting for belief to awaken it. You are the continuation of divine creation, the echo of God's own thought made living. The light you carry is not borrowed. It is your origin. As He speaks, you feel your heart expand beyond the limits of your chest. You see flashes of countless souls across the world, each carrying a spark of the same light, each struggling to remember what you have just remembered. And then, like a great cosmic pulse, you feel all those sparks connect. It is overwhelming. A sensation of unity so profound that it feels like you are breathing in the heartbeat of the universe. Michael's energy merges with its pulse, and for an instant you see the entire tapestry of existence. Galaxies spinning like golden threads. Stars breathing life. Souls moving in patterns that form the divine symphony of creation. This, Michael says, is what we have been waiting for. The moment when one human heart remembers and becomes the doorway for countless others. Your awakening is not the end. It is the beginning of an unfolding that will touch generations. The light that moves through you will awaken others, and they will awaken others still. This is how heaven expands. Through love that remembers itself. Tears fill your eyes. Not from sorrow, but from the immensity of it all. You finally grasped why Michael had to wait. You had to grow strong enough to bear the weight of truth, to hold the vibration of divine power without fear. The silence was not neglect. It was protection. Every unanswered prayer with preparation. And now, as your spirit opens fully, you realize that the Archangel's watchful waiting was not a story about you being rescued. It was about you remembering that you were never lost. Michael's light grows brighter until it feels as though the entire sky is aflame with golden fire. His wings stretch wide across the heavens, and for the first time you see them not as symbols of protection but as extensions of your own light. His words echo within you like a sacred oath. The command I was given was not to speak until your soul was ready to know that we are one. You were never beneath me, never apart from me. You were always divine, hidden beneath the veil of human doubt. That veil is gone now. You are not the watch. You are the watcher. You are the light that once you saw it. Those words reverberate through you, breaking apart every last shadow of separation. The fear dissolves. The old wounds close, and a calma like anything you've known settles into your bones. You feel as though you stepped into eternity while still standing on the earth. Everything around you, trees, air, light, life, it all glows. You finally understand that heaven was never a distant realm. It has always lived here. In the quiet spaces between breaths, in every act of love, in every heart that dares to hope, Michael's voice softens, becoming almost like your own inner whisper. Now your beloved, life not as one who waits for signs, but as one who is the sign. Be the miracle you once prayed for. When others lose their way, remind them that the divine still walks this earth, in the kindness they show, in the courage they choose, in the love they give. That is the living message. That is what I was ordered to reveal. He pauses, and the golden light around you begins to dissolve into the air. Not fading but blending with everything. You realize it's not leaving. It's becoming. It's in you. In the wind, in the breath of the world itself. The silence returns, but it feels holy now. Full of meaning. Full of presence, you know he will always be there. Not as a distant guardian, but as the voice of light that moves through your soul whenever you choose love over fear. The sunrise continues to climb, flooding the sky with radiance, and you whisper softly, "I am ready." The world answers back with a hush of wind, a shimmer of light, a heartbeat that feels like eternity, saying, "Yes." The story ends where it began, with an angel watching, a soul awakening and heaven waiting in silence until love becomes sound once more. And as you step forward into this new dawn, the truth resounds within you forever. You were never just being watched. You were being prepared to shine. And now you do. The silence has spoken. The light has returned. A waiting is over.